Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. We have obtained what is expected to be a central piece of the government's case against Donald Trump. The actual audio recording of the former president talking as if he's showing a highly classified document on U.S. war plans against Iran with people not cleared to even know it exists, let alone what's in it. In a moment, only on CNN, you will hear what jurors will hear one day. The recording was made 2 summers ago, July 2021, at the former president's club in Bedminster, New Jersey. You will clearly hear the former president as he is speaking to several people. According to the special counsel's indictment, they include a writer working on Mark Meadows' memoir, the publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members. The president was aware he was being recorded. This is the first time it is being played publicly.
Hi everyone, Adam is ready. Something happened at 1 in the morning that the White House never saw coming. Something that shatters every legal shield Trump thought he had built. For months, Trump has been playing a dangerous game, betting everything on one simple strategy. The Supreme Court would save him. He handpicked 3 justices. He created a 63 conservative supermajority. He genuinely believed that when the walls closed in, his judges would be the firewall that protected him from Congress, from subpoenas, from accountability. He was wrong. Catastrophically wrong.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
It started right at the beginning.
Like when Milley's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential, secret.
At approximately 1 a.m. on March 4th, the United States Supreme Court delivered a ruling that absolutely demolished Trump's entire legal strategy. They didn't just rule against him, they humiliated him. They told the most powerful man in the world, in no uncertain terms, you do not get special treatment.
Some important breaking and exclusive new CNN reporting about the special counsel investigation and that audio recording of the former president, Donald Trump. Sources now telling CNN that Trump attorneys turned over material in mid-March, 2.5 months ago, in mid-March, connected to a classified military document. The one prosecutors here, Mr. Trump described on that audio recording now in their possession. That tape prompting a fresh subpoena from special counsel Jack Smith's investigators for any and all documents related to Mark Milley, General Mark Milley, the Joint Chiefs Chair, or Iran. Sources telling CNN there's also a big unknown, whether that document in question, an Iran attack plan, was ever actually returned.
You do not get to hide from Congress. We are not your personal protection squad. The vote was 54, and here's where it gets absolutely brutal for Trump. 2 of his own appointees, Justices Roberts and Kavanaugh, joined the liberal justices to stab him in the back. The very men he put on the court, the judges he thought would have his back no matter what, sided with Congress. They said the president must hand over the Pentagon documents. They said congressional oversight is real. They said the Constitution still matters. And Trump lost his mind. I mean, completely and utterly lost it. At 1:17 in the morning, when most presidents are asleep, Trump was rage posting on Truth Social like a man possessed. He called the Supreme Court the most corrupt court in history. He claimed the justices declared war on America. He labeled his own appointees, the people he elevated to the highest court in the land, as RINOs and traitors. It was a full-blown, unhinged meltdown broadcast to the entire world at 1 a.m. And here's the terrifying context for Trump. This is happening on the exact same day the House voted to advance impeachment articles. This is happening while the Pentagon leak is exposing that he lied about the Iranian threat. This is happening while American soldiers are still coming home in caskets from an operation based on a fabrication. Everything is converging at once, and the Supreme Court just kicked the last chair out from under him. Let's rewind and understand what actually happened here because the legal stakes are enormous. House Democrats did what the Constitution empowers them to do. They issued subpoenas for the Pentagon war plans. They demanded the intelligence briefings. They requested every single document related to the threat assessment before Operation Epic Fury was launched. This is basic congressional oversight. This is the legislature's job, to investigate whether the president violated the War Powers Act, to determine if he abused his authority, to oversee military operations that cost American lives. Trump responded the way he always responds, with obstruction. He said no. He refused to comply. He ran to the Supreme Court and begged for an emergency stay. He asked the highest court to block the subpoenas to shield him from Congress, to effectively declare that the president is above the law. He wanted the courts to be his personal getaway vehicle from accountability. And the Supreme Court looked at his request and said absolutely not. The vote was 54. Roberts, the Chief Justice, voted against Trump. Kavanaugh, Trump's own appointee who he saved from sexual assault allegations, voted against Trump. Two conservative justices looked at the man who put them on the bench and said, "No, you don't get to hide. Congress has the power to investigate. Congress has the right to these documents. You will comply." This is absolutely massive because it destroys Trump's last firewall. For years, Trump has used the courts as a delay tactic. File a lawsuit, get an injunction, appeal, delay, obstruct, run out the clock. But the Supreme Court just slammed that door shut. They said the subpoenas stand, the documents come out, Congress gets what it needs. And the timing is perfection for Democrats. The subpoenas are due to be fulfilled on March 5th. That's tomorrow. By the time the sun rises, Congress will have in its hands every Pentagon threat assessment, every intelligence briefing, every communication that shows what Trump knew and when he knew it. They will have the smoking guns. They will have the proof that there was no imminent Iranian threat. They will have the evidence that Trump violated the War Powers Act. Then the Senate trial begins, and the Senate will see these documents. Every senator will have to look at the Pentagon's own assessment saying, "No imminent attack." Every senator will have to confront the reality that Trump launched a military operation based on a lie. Every senator will have to decide whether 6 dead American soldiers is acceptable collateral damage for a president's ego. And Trump's midnight meltdown is the clearest admission of guilt you'll ever see. When someone is innocent, they don't rage post at 1 a.m. calling the Supreme Court corrupt. When the documents help your case, you don't call your own appointees traitors. Trump's unhinged response is the response of a man who knows the evidence is devastating. He's not mad because the court made a mistake. He's mad because the court just opened the vault on the proof that he's a liar and potentially a war criminal. Let's dig into the legal significance of this ruling, because it's bigger than just Trump. The Supreme Court just established a constitutional precedent that Congress has the power to investigate presidential military actions. They ruled that executive privilege has limits, and those limits are reached when Congress is investigating potential constitutional violations. They said the president cannot use national security claims as a blanket to hide evidence of wrongdoing. The War Powers Act is specific. It requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours of launching military action. It requires the president to provide information about the operation. It gives Congress the power to check presidential military adventures. Trump violated all of it. He launched Operation Epic Fury without congressional notification. He refused to provide documents. He hid behind privilege claims. And now the Supreme Court has said that hiding is over. The fact that Roberts and Kavanaugh sided against Trump is devastating for another reason. It signals to Republican senators that it's safe to vote for conviction. When the Chief Justice of the United States, a conservative appointed by George W. Bush, says Congress has the right to investigate, Republican senators have cover. They can point to Roberts and say, even the Chief Justice thinks Trump violated the law. Even Kavanaugh thinks Congress should have these documents. We're not being partisan. We're following the Constitution. And that matters because the Senate trial is going to be dominated by these documents. The Pentagon threat assessments are going to be read aloud. The intelligence briefings showing no imminent attack are going to be entered into evidence. Military officials are going to testify that they advised against this operation. The evidence is going to be overwhelming, undisputed, and damning. Trump's approval rating is already at 41%. That's sinking ship territory. When these documents become public, when every American sees that their president lied to start a war that killed soldiers, that number is going to plummet. Moderate Republicans, independents, even some Democrats who were on the fence, they're all going to see the truth. And here's the broader context that makes this even worse for Trump. This Supreme Court defeat isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening simultaneously with the Pentagon leak that exposed the threat assessment. It's happening while the House is advancing impeachment. It's happening while classified document evidence is being unsealed. It's happening while Trump is dealing with tariff refunds totaling billions. It's happening while his entire agenda is being dismantled by courts across the country. Everything is collapsing at once. The legal firewall is gone. The political protection is eroding. The evidence is becoming public, and Trump's response is to stay up until 1 a.m. screaming into the void of social media. The Supreme Court's ruling also has massive implications for the balance of power between branches. They essentially said that when Congress is doing its constitutional duty of oversight, the executive cannot obstruct. They said that impeachment inquiries have special status. They said that presidents are not kings. This isn't just a loss for Trump, it's a loss for the imperial presidency he's been trying to build. And think about what happens next. Tomorrow, the documents arrive. Congressional committees will review them. Leaks will inevitably happen. The media will report on every damning detail. The narrative will shift from "Did Trump lie?" to "How badly did Trump lie?" The question won't be whether there was a threat. The question will be how explicitly Trump ignored the truth. Then the Senate trial begins with this fresh evidence. Senators who might have been willing to acquit based on ambiguity will now have to confront clear proof. The Pentagon briefings don't lie. The intelligence assessments don't have agendas. They just show the facts. No imminent threat, no justification for war, no reason for 6 Americans to die. And here's the part that should terrify every Republican up for re-election. When voters go to the polls in the midterms, they're going to remember which party protected a president who lied about war. They're going to remember which senators looked at evidence of dead soldiers and voted to acquit anyway. This issue has staying power because it involves blood. It's not about policy disagreements or tax rates. It's about American lives lost because of a lie. Trump's meltdown on Truth Social is going to be studied for years as the moment he knew it was over. The frantic posting, the name-calling, the conspiracy theories. It's the behavior of someone watching their world collapse in real time. He thought the Supreme Court would save him. He thought Roberts and Kavanaugh owed him. He thought the conservative majority would protect him from accountability. And they turned on him. The vote was 54, 2 of his own. The firewall is gone, the documents are coming, the Senate trial is imminent, the evidence is devastating, and Trump is sitting in the White House at 1 a.m. alone with his phone, rage posting to an audience that's watching history happen. This is the moment when the constitutional system actually worked. The courts refused to be complicit. Congress asserted its power. The evidence will see daylight. And 6 American families might finally get the truth about why their loved ones never came home. The midnight meltdown wasn't just Trump being Trump. It was the sound of a presidency cracking under the weight of its own lies. And tomorrow, when those documents hit Congress, the cracking becomes a collapse.